What's going on, guys? This is our weekly solo player's guide to Nightfall. This is our Titan edition. If you're new to the channel, we do this every single Tuesday and Wednesday with all three classes: Warlock, Hunter, and Titan. This is our Titan edition, as you can clearly see. If you need a Hunter or a Warlock, those links are going to be in the description box down below. Also, if you're looking for a Challenge of Elders solo player's guide, that is also going to be in the description box below. We do that every single Tuesday as well, so if any of that sounds good to you, go ahead and hit subscribe, because why look anywhere else? Now, let's go ahead and go over the modifiers this week, as well as our setup, what we're rocking as far as weapons, and then our subclass setup, and then we'll go ahead and hit the guide. Modifiers this week include Arc Burn. Arc damage from any source is greatly increased. Berserk. Minions of Darkness won't flinch even after massive damage. Brawler. Guardian melee damage is greatly increased. Airborne. Players deal more damage while in the air. And Daybreak. The darkness grows stronger and so do you. Form a fire team of 3 or 1 in this case, and unleash your light with greatly increased ability recharge, which that pretty much means if you ever played Mayhem Clash in the Crucible, it's just going to do that, where it just gives you like really quick recharge abilities. Your ability recharge is like super quick, so you'll be getting supers like every 2 minutes. So as far as setup goes, of course we're rocking Jala's Supercell. This is no raid weapon special week, so if you don't have Jala's Supercell, you don't have any adept weapons, I would say go with some sort of scout rifle, just because it'll give you the most amount of range. But Jala's Supercell, hopefully most of you have this. You're also going to get Devil's Dawn, or you don't have to get Devil's Dawn, but maybe Event Horizon or Ex Machina if you've got that. In Arc, it'll be fantastic. It does a lot of damage. Silver Dread, or any kind of machine gun that's in Arc, I would suggest, or a really good rocket launcher, whatever. If you have Empyrean Bellicose, try that out. Aiming weapons while airborne holds you in place, so it's kind of like that Warlock perk on the Sunsinger, where if you aim down sights while you're jumping in the air, it'll actually hold you up in that position for like 2 or 3 seconds. It's actually really nifty. Totally forgot to equip it, so we rocked the Armamentarium to gain an additional grenade. As far as setup goes, it's pretty much whatever you want. Unstoppable is great because it gives you max armor. Shoulder Charge is great because it's shoulder charge. It's a devastating melee attack, and you're already adding Brawler on top of that, so you'll be doing a lot of damage there. Or Juggernaut, really, I don't see that being very useful, but these top two, pretty decent. I would definitely go Transfusion. Kills with Storm Fist or Shoulder Charge immediately trigger health regeneration. Pretty awesome. Try out Discharge. Hits with Storm Fist deal an area of effect damage around the target. So if you hit something, it's going to give like this little area of effect damage. It's pretty awesome. You'll see me at the boss fight actually take down like 5 or 6 thralls with one punch. It's pretty fantastic. And then I'm rocking Shockwave at the beginning, but then I switched over to Aftermath, and it just seemed to do a better job at keeping the enemies off of me. So I would suggest whatever you're most comfortable with during the majority of the strike, but then just before you jump down into the pit, go ahead and rock Aftermath. See if that works well for you. And I know your instinct is to go Lightning Grenade. Mine definitely was too. And then if you think about this strike, there's not a whole lot of walls to throw your lightning grenades on to actually hit enemies, even in the final boss fight. So I would suggest actually going with pulse grenades, and these work fantastic. So this is the first week I'll probably actually suggest to you a grenade you try out. But go ahead and try that out. But if you go back to lightning grenades, that's what you're best with. Go for it. No one's gonna stop you. No one's gonna judge you. Because lightning grenades are insane. But yeah, other than that, let's go ahead and rock this guide. Alright, so this is the first nightfall tiered area. Go ahead and just throw a grenade down there. You don't want to just jump down there because all those enemies are going to be doing arc damage. You don't have to worry as much about these thralls. They're going to be doing solar damage, so you can be a little bit less cautious with them. But then once you go over here, go ahead and just take out all these acolytes. Now for some reason, I've noticed this week that the wizards are going to be a little glitched. They spawn in later than normal. So go ahead and just take out all these acolytes, and by the time you do that, they should be spawned in. But I would definitely wait for them to spawn in. As you can see, there we go. And then just rock them with your super. There we go. Then come over here. There's going to be a couple more acolytes up to the right of us right now. Go ahead and watch out for them and those acolyte eyes. Go ahead and take those out as well. You won't get any points from them, but they do arc damage, so be careful. Same goes here. Get as many of these enemies out of the way as possible. Use your sniper if you have to. I go ahead and just rock my my super against the wizard. There's also going to be a couple more acolytes there as well, so just be careful of them. And then go ahead and move on to the next area. Alright, so once you get down here, go ahead and start taking out all these acolytes. So I think there's about 4 or 5 of them. And there's also going to be about 5 or so thralls. Be very careful of that knight. He is doing arc damage. So go ahead and just pop your super on him. And then come over here to the left. There's going to be another spawn of a couple acolytes and a knight. The acolytes are not going to be doing arc damage, but the knight is, so just be careful of him. And then what you want to do is stay back and just take out these, at least one of the wizards, if not both, before you start jumping towards here, because those are doing arc damage and they will just annihilate you. So just be very careful of them. Go ahead and start scanning and transmitting this one. This platform, go ahead and take out the Shrieker. And once you kill the Shrieker, just go ahead and jump down. And then run around in a circle until you hear all of these little Shrieker Blast orbs explode. Then go ahead and pop up. You're going to want to take care of these wizards and knights before you cross back over to the main area. So go ahead and take all of them out. There's going to be 2 wizards, 2 knights that you have to worry about, and there's going to be some acolytes you can worry about a little bit later when you get back over there. Let's go ahead and do that. And then you're pretty much just going to do the exact same thing for the other side. Now after you kill all these enemies and you jump back over and you take out all the acolytes, there's going to be one more knight that spawns in, so just be careful of him. I believe he has a sword, so he's not too awful bad. If you're quick with your sniper, or if you just want to super him, go ahead and do that too. Whatever works best for you. And so then after that, the doors should be open after you kill all the remaining hive in here. Just like so, it should be open. It is. Alright, now in this section, you're going to want to stay back about here. That way, if you have to, you can run right back out of the room and start doing damage there and watching your health. Because just about everything in this room is going to be doing arc damage except for the knights and the few wizards that spawn in. So just be very, very careful. All the acolytes, all the scions, those are going to be doing arc damage. In this first wave, I believe there's either 8 or 6 total acolytes. Maybe a few more. It might be 9, 3 in the middle, 3 on each side. Can't remember exactly. This wave is actually really easy to go through. Just go ahead and drop your grenade there and just clean the rest up. And what you want to do is run all the way back, because these guys will spawn in and they will wipe you out incredibly fast, just because there's so many of them that spawn in, and then they will start multiplying, so there will be even more. So if you don't take these guys out fast and hard, they will take you out just like that. So just be very careful. And then, just like I said before, arc damage, these phalanxes do a lot of arc damage as well. I believe their blast does from their shield, as well as their guns, so be careful of that. Use your super if you can on that wave. There's going to be 3 major acolytes and 1 major wizard. 1 swift, not shoulder charge, Fist of Havoc will do the trick. And then run back down here as quickly as possible. You want to not be in the middle where on that stage, just because there is a lot of arc damage incoming and you don't want to have anything to do with that. After that, this guy will spawn in. Go ahead and just wipe him out with your super if you've got it, which you should by now. Go ahead and take this guy out real quick, or just jump right over him and move on. In this next room, there's going to be 2 doors, one on the far back left side and one on the far back right side. They randomly open, so only one side will be open. What you want to do is take out all the acolytes on the bottom. There's going to be a small group on the left and a small group on the right side, left and right. Whichever side of the door opens, there's going to be more acolytes on that side. Also, depending on what side opens, there's usually some centurions. A major wizard is always going to be there. A couple acolytes. So just be very careful of that. Sometimes, like my last run, the centurions didn't spawn in for some reason. So if you're that lucky, awesome. If not, just use your sniper to take everything down. You want to kill as many of these enemies as possible. If all of them, fantastic. Otherwise, like you're going to see me here in just a sec, I very nearly, barely survive. These Shrieker Blasts aren't doing void damage, but they do hurt a lot. So I would suggest taking your time and killing all the enemies, especially if you're not 400 light. If you're 400 light, you can have a little bit more leeway with that. Otherwise, just go ahead and take your time and kill them all. Now here, if you used your super, it's pretty awesome because you are going to get it back immediately, practically, thanks to the perks on Zhao's Supercell, as well as the Daybreak modifier. as you can see. Awesome. And then just go ahead, you can either wait for the ammo that spawns. Here it'll take about 5 or so seconds to spawn in. Otherwise, go ahead and jump right down and wait for Alacool to spawn in. Alright, so as you can see from that last clip, you want to be extremely careful using your super against Alacool or the boss, as you might better be more affiliated with whatever. Be very careful using your super on the boss. I would almost suggest not doing it, but if you are going to do it, be very careful. To be honest, I was using my super more to keep ads away, and then if I got the chance to drop my super as he's teleporting out, that also would damage him quite a bit. Otherwise, I wouldn't waste it, because evidently he's doing arc damage. I can't be 100% on that, so don't quote me on that. But what you want to do is just, as ads spawn in, just go ahead and keep jumping in the air, throwing your pulse grenades down, and keep going around and around in circles. A good option for you to do is, if it's hard for you to see, go ahead and just turn your brightness in the game all the way up. It will help you a lot. You'd be surprised what this room looks like with the brightness all the way up. Otherwise, if you're fine with this, how it is, how it comes with, can't think of the word I'm trying to think of, but that's fine too. It's a very not super necessary thing to do, but in between, you want to can't think of what I'm trying to say here. You want to take down all the ads before you start messing with Alacool again. Once all the ads are down, then start doing damage to Alacool. Be very careful once this happens, when it says charging his foes, or charges his foes. You're going to want to be on the opposite end of that you were when he despawns. Because he's going to spawn in right next to where he last saw you spawn, just before he spawned out. So be very careful about that. There is a glitch sometimes where he'll get caught as he spawns in, which is great, because then he doesn't ever spawn out again, and you can literally just snipe him to death. He won't move. That doesn't happen in this run, unfortunately. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. I'm gonna let what little of this strike is left play out. Stay tuned for rewards. Also, like I said at the beginning of the video, links are in the description box to my other guides. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. If you found this video useful, hit the like button. And otherwise, I will talk to you guys later.